Okay, we're back, and boy, this is Ministry Day here today. Love all what's going on here. This is fantastic. Great to have with us our good friend Bud Amundsen. He is the Executive Director for Rogue Valley Youth for Christ, and I can't say enough about what he and his organization do for young people on campuses all over Southern Oregon. And I love what they're going to do starting, when is your auction?
October 22nd.
Coming up next week, and this is one of the fun things you guys do.
Yes.
You have this online auction that goes on for what, about 10 days or so then?
Yeah, 2 weeks almost.
2 weeks, yeah. And but first of all, let's get into what YFC is all about, what they're doing, and I'm sure you're familiar with them, but you guys are working hard. You're on how many campuses, and you're going to Grants Pass? Give us an update.
Okay, wow. Yeah, that may take a little while. We've got 4 Campus Life Youth Centers, and they're in Gold Hill, Eagle Point, Phoenix, and Talent School District, and then North Medford. And then we have our City Life Community Center, which is down more in downtown Medford and focused on neighborhood ministry. We've got our juvenile justice program working with kids in the detention system, and then they have a mentoring program, and then we have our YFC Mentors, which used to be called HATS, Help a Teen Succeed, and you know, we've got a bunch of kids in that mentoring program, and we have our teen parent, or our Parent Life ministry, which is teen moms, and things are going along great there. We are just as of September 1st hired a guy to kind of re-break ground in the Grants Pass area. Wow. And get things going there, and you know, do what we do, and God keeps providing. And
well, it's just wonderful. The outreach is wonderful, and I can't say enough about, and I can't imagine managing all that. I mean, my head.
Oh, come on, Perry. I mean, you got your fingers in a lot of different things here.
I know,
you know,
but you know, we get together and commiserate on the side. How much sleep did you get last night?
Yeah, well, I did okay. But.
Okay. The response has been terrific, huh?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I honestly, I feel a lot like Mr. Magoo, you know. I'm just kind of stumbling along, and God keeps putting things in front of me, and the organization, and you know, I have a tremendous board and great staff, and you know, things keep moving forward. Last year, we worked with over 2,100 kids around the valley. We have relationships with lost young people, you know, 1,278 lost young people around the valley.
That's the thing I'm trying to get our head around. I don't know if we understand the brokenness or the broken condition of young people in Southern Oregon.
It's honestly, I mean, compared to national statistics, Jackson County, Josephine County, both of those places, it is horrific. Just the teen suicide rate is so high here compared to the national average, and honestly, in our ministry, we have had connection with 4 kids in the last 4 months that have you know, taken their own life. And
what is it? What is it? Is it despair?
Yeah, I think
no hope.
Well, there's a systemic abandonment of our young people. Oftentimes they're what I kind of have termed relational litter. You know, they're the outcome or the product of a relationship that is no longer exists. You know, man and woman, they get together, they're you know, doing their thing, maybe even married, but then the kid comes along and the relationship breaks down, parents scatter. That in the context of addiction, they have, you know, those parents have no capacity for taking care of themselves, let alone a kid, and so the kid is left alone in essence to figure out life in and of themselves. And added to that, we have a culture that is promoting destruction. In, you know, you look at what is promoted to our young people as the cool way to live. one, it's
lie.
yeah, well, yeah, absolutely, in
Yeah.
so many different facets. But it's a focus on themselves and really, how do I feel good? And then I'm going to feel good by doing all these immoral things that destroy. I mean, God wasn't lying when He said the wages of sin is death.
Yeah.
You know, and these young people buy into what our culture is telling them will make them happy, and it's actually bringing death.
Okay, your faith-based organization, I say often, and I said it this morning, and I'm going to say it again, thank you for supporting the Dove. Don't take from your church, and don't take from any other ministry that the Lord has you involved in, and this is one of them. I don't want you ever to abandon what He is doing. In fact, dig deeper and support what they're doing. It takes a special call to be a missionary. It takes a special call to do what they're doing. And it's a missionary to broken children. And I couldn't do what you do. That's not my calling, but I certainly can come alongside and support what you're doing. And they have to do their fundraisers throughout the year as well. I know you have golf tournaments and you have all kinds of things, but one of the most fun things they do is coming up next week. And for starting on the 22nd for about the next 2 weeks, they're going to have an online auction. This is a hoot. Because, last year when you were doing it, and we'll do it again this year, I was tracking it on the morning show, and I pick out a couple of items just to see how they're going and kind of punch them a little bit. So tell us about it. What do you got coming up?
Yes, as you mentioned, the September 22nd through October 5th is our online auction where we have had not only tremendous sponsors, but also this community has supported the ministry by donating a variety of things, whether it's golf packages, overnights, airplane trips to do a round of golf and lunch somewhere. And we have I've heard rumors that there's some GoPros and iPads and just all sorts of really great items. And so the fun thing about the online is you can be in your pajamas and slippers and you get 4:30 in the morning if you're up at that time. You can click there you go. Click away, and it essentially works like eBay. And so you're in there and you put your bid, and then somebody else comes along. You can see the username, but you're not sure who that is. And then you're bidding against those.
It's a lot of fun, and let me encourage you. You'll just have a hoot with it. You probably can go on there. What's the website? What are we?
So the best gateway is our website, roguevalleyYFC.org.
Okay. .org.
Yep.
Rogue Valley.
roguevalleyYFC.org.
Okay. All right, roguevalleyYFC.org. Go there starting next Tuesday.
Yep.
And you'll see the items, and for the next 2 weeks, starting next Tuesday.
Well, actually, you can go on now and you can check out what's there.
Oh, they're there now? Okay.
Yeah, not all of the items. We're still pulling in items, but everything's up. You can look at it. The bidding doesn't start until the Tuesday. 22nd.
So. All right, so roguevalleyYFC.org. Go there and start tracking it. And I'll be on there, and I'll be kind of bumping it along the way starting next week for the next 2 weeks, because it's fun to talk about. But most importantly, as much fun as this event is, and you can end up with a terrific item that you can win or bid on and get, those proceeds are going to help what Bud and his organization does. And I want to say to all the businesses who support you, thank you. Yeah. It's an incredible endorsement of what this ministry does when you have so many businesses throughout the community and organizations that come alongside you and say, here, have this, do this, we'll support you there. And it just gives you an indication of what's happening there at YFC. And this has been going on for a long time, but you know what? It's getting bigger and bigger, and the demand is getting heavier and heavier. And who's going to reach out to these young people if we don't? If the faith-based community doesn't do it, I don't know who will.
Well, and the reality is we have an open door. You know, our focus on bringing the hope of, you know, the gospel to kids through authentic relationships. Kids are desperate for that authentic, trusting relationship with a caring adult. And so we have an open door. We've got, you know, 14 girls on a waiting list and about 12 boys on a waiting list for mentors. And
okay, let's talk about that for a minute. What is a mentor? What do you need there?
Well, mentors, you know, we have you apply and we screen you and train you and hook you up with one kid to spend some time. And kids are, you know, obviously kids can be challenging, but they're open to having somebody care. And then we talk about sharing the gospel through what we call three-story lifestyle. Right. Very simple. You learn their story. Okay. And where God's drawing them, I share my story, where it connects with their story. And then I share God's story and what God's done in my life that relates to their story. Wow. And so instead of us telling kids how much they need Jesus, we're actually telling them how much we need Jesus, and that's the example that they can then follow. And so very simple, very easy, natural thing to do. And you know, that's where last year we saw 123 kids make authentic, life-transforming decisions to follow Christ.
How big of a time commitment is this, Brad?
It's really up to the person, but we say, you know, at least an hour a week. That's what's going to give.
And I've talked to people who have done that. They thought, well, I can do an hour a week, and all of a sudden they get emotionally attached.
Well, exactly, exactly.
And away it goes.
And it does go. And and the thing, we don't tell, hey, it's not all about taking the kid to Dairy Queen or, you know, some place that's
In-N-Out Burger now.
Well, yeah, In-N-Out Burger, right? Just bring them with you in ordinary life. And so if you're working in your garden, bring them with you. If you're building a shed in your backyard, bring the kid with you. If you're going to the grocery store, just bring the kid there. They're excited to just be a part of somebody's life.
It's hard to believe, as beautiful as this community is and all the things that we have here, that there is this level of need among young people. I think that's the one that puts our brain on tilt. And you said, as it relates to the national statistics, we're kind of high on that.
We're very high in terms of addiction, in terms of you know, the suicide rate, in terms of you know, the breakdown of families, all of that. You know, these two counties, Jackson and Josephine County, are quite a bit higher than the national average.
Well, this just doesn't happen on its own. It takes funds to do it, and I can't say enough about what Bud does and his organization. Got a great team. Again, you can go right now to roguevalleyYFC.org and begin to kind of seek out the items that are going to be on this online auction starting next Tuesday. So you can go there now and see things. Probably a lot more will be put up over the next week or so. And then next Tuesday, the bidding will start. And when you see the quality of things that are on there, last year I looked at that and I go, whoa.
It's amazing.
Mean, it's some of the best shopping you can possibly do is right there at that website. And all of those proceeds will go to help win these kids and teach these kids and mentor these kids and meet with them on campus and after school, before school, and all the things that they do. I want to say, you support them first, and I mean that. You support them first. So.
Well, the reality is, you know, it takes all of us in this community.
We're a team.
Yes, and want to make sure that folks are getting behind what you're doing here in a very generous way as well.
All right, roguevalleyYFC.org. Jot that down, because the next 2 weeks, it's going to be a hot spot to be in Southern Roaring. That's the website. Put it on your browser, put it on your friends, whatever you do. Make it pop up first. Put it on your desktop so it's there all the time. You can check your item.
And be sure to click the links of our donors and sponsors, you know, and go check out their websites. And I got to give a shout out to Southern Oregon Subaru, who have gotten behind this in a tremendous way.
Thank you. See you next time.
Hi, I'm Paulina, and I work at the DAF TV. Did you know that when you support the DAF TV, you have a profound impact, not only in our community, but around the world? It's your continued support that takes the inspiration and hope in the programs we produce and makes them available to the thousands of people who are watching these videos online every week. Help bring encouragement and hope to our valley and beyond by making a secure online donation today at our website, thedav.us.